Okay. Last episode, we beat Sephiroth, and so this episode, we're gonna take on Ruby Weapon. Alright, time to get our freaking revenge on this piece of shit. It's the last thing, it's the last battle we have to do. Last time, I grinded up us a teensy bit and got like at least 10 grapes or so. We got Bud, Quar, and Drac here. Oh fuck, I forgot to heal up Silas. Here, take this, it's fine. Because... so they can get their revenge, because they were the ones they had before. Anyway, let's do this. This is the real enemy of the game. Look at this piece of shit. Oh yeah, and Kirby Warrior did gain like a couple new moves. Let's see, he got Plasma Blast and Permafrost. So let's see, let's check these out. Oh yeah, and Water Cyclone. Let's see what this does. Woo! Pretty cool. And shit, did Lift work on you before? I don't remember. That didn't work. Nope. Well, maybe something will work. I know this works. So let's try out Permafrost. That did some damage. So I guess he's weak to ice. And I could have tried light with you, but just stick around in case we need you. Let's see. Maybe Paralyze will work. Ooh, I don't think we saw that move. And use the usual. And it seems like he's failing to steal anything. Maybe he's trying to take something I don't even have. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I even have tomatoes anymore. She's probably trying to take that. Anyway, so far none of your shit's doing nothing. Can you go to sleep? Probably did all this before. Just recreating what happened last time. Okay, so water does decent damage too, but he seems to be weak to ice. And here we go with this fucking bullshit again. And he'll heal Drac. And just chill out for a bit. And I guess we just gotta weather this fucking storm. There's not exactly a whole lot left to do in the game, so I guess this is like the episode I can afford to waste time. Because after this, we just have to go to one more location and then check out the debug room, and that's about it. Now the debug room has some reading to get through. I don't remember how much, but I doubt it would take that long. So I probably could use a bit of padding anyway. Anyway, I'm just gonna freaking sit here and wait for you to pop out. I mean, if he waits long enough, maybe you'll beat the previous fight in length. But you came out pretty quick compared to last time, so maybe not. It doesn't work. Poison! Okay, so what if we use, what's your, Blizzard, or Ice Chunks? How much would this do? 64? Come on, man. I thought I was on to something. Okay, now that time he specifically he just tried to steal a tomato. But, yeah, I don't actually have any anyway, so big deal. Heal him again. And Bud can't do shit. He's just here, I guess. Whatever, do this. I ain't got none, son. Sorry. And he's dead! Yay! We beat the true final boss. Okay, so I'm curious to see what the heck what I'm gonna get from this. Cause this guy likes stealing all my shit, so what the heck's gonna make doing all that worth it? Just to get rid of that morbid curiosity. I chew you. I believe it was this way. So we do have a little bit of walking to do at the very least, just to get to these last few locations. But then after that, there's no more of the main story anyway. You actually get through this pretty quick now. Boop. And thank God, because these guys will not leave me alone. Alright, big guy, what's the big reveal? What do I get? Wow, you beat your first real bounty. Here's your reward of 2,000 stars. You got 2,000 stars. I mean, I guess that's kind of worth it. I mean, you barely get any money to begin with, so I guess I'll take it. You may as well spend it, I suppose. Where's the yen? Here it is. 300. At this point, that feels cheap. Okay. But you're probably wondering, why the heck do I have Bud out in the front of the party? Because I was told to. We're probably going to find out shortly. And I was also told to grind up some money off screen, so that's the other reason why I had to grind for a little bit. Remember when enemies used to drop things? Oh, I remember. I can't avoid you, I'm not even trying. Also, is that actually supposed to be hair on Sword Knight? I always thought that's just, you know, just part of like the knight armor. I don't know. Well, I guess we can just interpret it whatever we want, I suppose. I think it's supposed to be a mystery what the heck is underneath these freaking knight armors and all these Kirby enemies. It's a mystery. Could be hair. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I forgot to talk to the, I forgot to re-talk to the bounty guy, but I don't think there's any more bounties anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. I was told that there was only, what, the two, I guess, if the other one even counts. Because the other one was kind of just a tutorial. Avoid. Damn it, I thought I could get around you. Well, there's enough open space to just run away, though. Shoot. Okay, we're gonna save. I don't think I'm in any danger of dying whatsoever, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I hope I'm going the right way. I mean, you just did this. You shouldn't be forgetting where you came from already. Next up, I also I looked up a little bit where I'm supposed to be going, just so I'm not wandering around aimlessly, because I don't want to be doing that anymore. So now I gotta find the way backwards, and then find the way forwards again. Because where I'm supposed to be going is back up to the rapids. But then I also had a thought off screen. I'm like all the way back where I was before, or the part of the rapids that I used to exit that led back to the Sequoia town. But no, it's all the way back at the top again. So it's a good thing to know these things. I'm not just wasting time. You know, this would also be a pretty good opportunity to talk about the LP, but I already did that last episode during the prancing fight. And now you don't have anything else to even add to it. At least I hope not. I'll just feel real awkward about it later. But whatever, we're back in Kabu Cave. Do I even need healing? What do you need to heal for? There's no more fighting. I kind of wish that I could grind up enough to get the house, but the house is 50k and that's gonna take hours, and fuck it, I don't feel like it. You can do that yourself. Alright, so I believe you go left here, and then up, and then that's wrong. You go down. Here we go, this way. Now, a piece of grass should be gone, so I don't have to bring back our old friend here. Thank goodness for that. Okay, save again just in case I don't know if it's possible to take a wrong turn and get kind of shat back to a place where that's going to take you like all the way down or something. I don't think it is, but just in case. No! I don't remember which way to go. No, not there. God damn it. The middle one. And go up. There. And more rapids. You know, in moments like these, normally I'd be questioning if I'm really going the right way or not, because it doesn't feel right when you're backtracking all the way up here like this. Because you're gonna be thinking like, is this really where I'm supposed to be going right now? I already did all this. But yeah, it is. Sound is gone already, so we ain't playing that long game. I wonder what causes this. I would have no feasible idea. I guess we have to get one more in. It's truly a mystery. Also, I'm still regular attacking everything. I don't want to use MP, it's fine. You could just bring in old General, just for the end here. I mean, I could, but I didn't. That's fine. We're almost there anyway. Oh, yellow glove. They do drop stuff. Neato. But we'll never find out how much it's worth. Also, where am I going? Not down there. Where am I going? I gotta figure this out again. Already forgetting where I even came from. No, that's nothing. Okay, you're just walking in circles now. What else are you gonna do when you're lost? Okay, it's this way. Go! Okay, so this is the only way to go so far. Yeah, there we go. Damn it! However, I'm on the north side, so you know what that means. I can escape. See ya. This is where we fought the evil clone. And here we go. Can't talk to you. Can't talk to you. Hey, I can talk to you. We heard the bridge was out, and sure enough, it's gone. So can you build a new one? No, we don't have the materials to do that. We have to improvise. I don't like the sound of that. We'll give you the discount price of 5,000 stars for our work. Yep, this is what I need the money for. Alright, we'll get to work. I thought you didn't have materials. But with the power of money, you can just materialize that. A bud space, of all things. I'll finish. I hope you have a way to get across that. Thanks, I guess. Why did they make a bud space? That's so random. And now I can't talk to you no more to question you. Cross the rapids or jump in. Don't jump in. Yay! Whoa, that didn't look right. And the save point. Maybe even the final save point. Oh, hello. Hello, are you expecting me to join your party? Sorry, I am here to give a message from the creators of this game. I'm sorry to say, but this is the end of the road. This is a bittersweet moment for all of us. Bitter in that the game never got to be completed to its intended form. But oh, so sweet that you, the player, got to experience some semblance of what the game would have been for the second time. Without you, the series wouldn't have gone as far as it did. And who knows, maybe there will be more to come in the future. Maybe, I don't know. So I have one last thing for you. Whoa! The Icy Tundra. Talk to everyone to learn about the people who worked on the game. If you aren't interested in this sort of thing, then sorry. How about you? Yoshiri made some of the placeholder battle backgrounds as well as the design of this character you're speaking to. Kirby Warrior's original idea for Yosh was to be an alchemist that uses items instead of MP for his skills. Finally, all those red fabrics you had saved up would be useful. Wouldn't it be really awkward if you sold all of them? Sure would be. The creator of Danton was a dear friend to Kirby Warrior and others. She passed away before the release of KW RPG 2 and is dearly missed. The idea was that her summons would replace one or more party members when summoned, and would fight in their place. Really? I didn't even know you could do that. When defeated, the summon would withdraw and no more summons could be used for that battle. Could you get your party members back? I don't know. Glot designed this character and gave some ideas. Kirby Warrior's idea for Gold was to have a steal function, which is self-explanatory. Oh, so he's the thief? But we don't know what his abilities are, though. Amika designed this character, as well as doing a lot of concept art for the game. Kirby Warrior's idea was for Palladia to join you as the first secret character after completing every bounty. I don't even recognize this character at all. Huh. Drat gave some ideas, input, and graphical help, as well as this character design. That's it. We already know what that can do. You can thank Aki, Lurko, Prims for Subdue's new design, as well as polishing the mapping for the game. Huge help! Kirby Warrior's idea for Subdue was that he would join you as the second secret character for winning a slot machine in Gold's shop. His attacks would be heavily luck-based, not luck as in a stat, but as in RNG. He may have also used money for some attacks. So he's like a merchant class. I think I remember Subdue being planned. Crazy Duck or Ryan 10K made some songs for the game, such as the one you're listening to right now. That's why I don't recognize most of the tracks, because they're actually original. Again, I think the only one I even recognized was like the Mother 3 song. Oh yeah, and the Animal Crossing one. There's probably some others too. The alias of the person who submitted the design for Silas has been lost to the harsh nature of time and the internet. Really? It was the only character that made it in the game that was submitted by a stranger to the KWRPG team. Who would have guessed that this character would eventually have major plot points to KWRPG III and onwards? Creative Silas, wherever you may be, I hope you find this game and play it. I hope you enjoy it for what it is. Could be anyone, could even be me. It's not. But that's interesting. And also the most pivotal party member, because who in their right mind would get rid of such a good healer? Who's this guy? Alan made this map, the previous map and the Eastern Large Town map. Cool. LDM did a bunch of art, old face pics, the logos, ideas, support, and convinced Kirby Warrior to release this unfinished project to the public. But thank you, LDM. Also, this game... I wonder if it had, like proper face sets. I know we have, like, character icons here, but I wonder if there was originally face sets to talk in, like, the dialogue boxes, like it had previously. Oh god, there's two of them now! Bud designed this character, did a bunch of mapping, gave ideas, advice, support, and even some dialogue. He was a really big help simply getting this game started. Neato. And anyone up here? It's this guy. Various other people that helped the game in some way. Darkblizer for the face pics and Kirby houses. Disc for technical stuff, fitting. Kamiyana for the various music. Kirby Superstar Dude for a dude design. Which one? Kirby Mixer for the forest song. Miko for lots of map stuff for building ideas on. Suni for a dude design. Another one? Which one? Taylor for concepts and ideas. Zura for concept art. And to those I may have missed, I apologize. You forgot the most important person of all. Panica. That guy. Also, can I get back there? I think I remember there being a secret way to get behind there. Also, look at it. I remember you. MW, or Maroke, is a huge pillar of this game and community. He was in charge of a lot of coding in the game and on the sites and forums. I can't even begin to explain how big of a help he was in terms of ideas, advice, support, coding, mapping, dialogue, and everything in between. Let's give him a round of applause. I can't, I'm holding a controller. I can put it down for a sec, though. Yay! And also, he made Dream Edition. There's that, too. But that has nothing to do with this game. Well, I wouldn't say nothing, but you know what I mean. Although Hyper Kirby had nothing to do with making this game, he is the reason Kirby Warrior even started down this path. He is the one who convinced Kirby Warrior to start an RPG Maker 95 project. If it wasn't for Hyper Kirby, this community might not even exist. So for that, Kirby Warrior says, if you're reading this, thank you for everything. Are you done here? No! I may as well make a save in here just in case. I didn't talk to the main man himself. So it's come to this. Over 10 years and still I have... hold on. Over 10 years and still all I have to offer is an incomplete game. First, I'd like to say I deeply apologize for the long wait and the fact that the game never got to be completed in its intended form. It's been a wild ride for me. I had some bad times, but I also had a lot of good times. I would like to thank everyone who helped me with the making of this game. I would also like to thank everyone who stuck by me through all of this time. Most of all, I would like to thank the entire KW RPG community and KW RPG fans. They may not be the greatest of games, but I hope you had a fun time. You all mean so much to me, and I hope to keep this community going in some way. I'm always thinking of new ways to create and share. Hopefully I will be able to continue doing that for a long time, and hopefully you guys will be there doing the same thing. Maybe he'll make a Mega Man game or something. Okay, I could have sworn there's a way to get back there. It wouldn't be proper unless I figured it out, unless it's just... It's some kind of way. I gotta talk to the guy. Everybody will laugh at me if I can't figure it out, and then I'm going to find out afterwards, but I can't make a whole episode just for that. I bet you have to enter it through here or some shit. Or this, no. Well, I hope it's not that important. It better not be if you're going to hide it from me. I swear to God, this is feeling familiar. I feel like I've gone through this exact same conundrum when I played this for the first time. I believe other people were asking questions of how do I talk to the Biospark? Yeah, that's unlocking some memories. But maybe you can't. Or maybe I'm just not looking as thoroughly as I could. Well, I can't be spending all episode on this. I mean, I technically could, but that's stupid. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever, I give up. And I believe that's all there is to do here. Are you done here? Yep. Okay, let's wrap it up, guys. Oh my god, it's the freaking Earthbound-ass ending. Other Bud is in frame. And they're all just staring at me. Nope. No credits. The end. I mean, you basically already looked at all the credits that there were to give just now. Yay! Wait, is this a forever screen? Uh-oh. This might be a forever screen. I'm pushing everything. Oh, God. What was it? You know what? I'm supposed to be getting the code for the debug room. And you know what? That fucking Biospark probably has the code. Okay, you know what? We can't end it like this. Give me a second, and I'll figure this out. Alright, shit's fucking impossible. I can't figure it out even while looking in the files. So, whatever. I did find out what the password was, so all's good. I don't even know if getting over there is possible. But maybe it is, and I just can't figure it out. Welcome to the debug area. I'm Hyper. Hello, Hyper. Welcome to the debug area. This is the members only, so please give the password. It's 776. And yeah, that Biospark actually does give it to you. Although he said don't spread it around the internet, so don't tell this to anybody. First thing is first. Please give me your name. It's his eye. Hi, see, it does fit. I just fucked it up somehow. I'm stupid, in case you didn't figure that out by now. Yay! I'm using multiplayer. Sweet. Are you sure? Yeah. The player's name is Panic Eye? Okay, I'll let you get to work then. What do you mean, work? I gotta do shit. But yeah, look at Hyper. He's got idle animations. He's got moving sparkles while I'm just standing still and blinking action. Why is he so fucking fancy? He's too good to be playable. Now testing skill ordering. Check your skills. It's Hyper. His face set didn't get updated. He's got explosive powder and thundershock. I don't even know if these are moves he got in the previous game. Always allow other events to continue in the message display options. I've turned this nice meadow into an animate area. Stepping off and on the staircase here will change the modes from still to animate. These areas should never cover large spaces where nothing happens. They would make the hero sprite animate itself. However, if there are any gimmicks lying around, it is imperative that the hero be in still mode or else it'll be a glitch. This also affects NPCs labeled by bleh. Debug main household. My animations, they're dead. It was so nice having them. I mean, it only sparkles when I move now. This is the party annex. You can change party arrangements in here. Modify save menu? No way to activate save menu slots. Change party, activate, restrict. What does any of this even mean? Why do I even want to put in party members? I'm a cold-hearted killer. Should I kill you? Yes, Quar, please. Yes, Strat, please. More. Yes, Bud, please. Yes, Silas, please. Silas tutorial version? Rico, General D, Zerb, Gold, Prancing Yosh. Yosh isn't even playable. Palladia, Shag. Who the hell is Shag? No. And here we go. It's the party member menu. Can I test characters out or something? Why are the clones here? And we got, okay, I guess the X means you can't add them, but we got Amanda. That's not Amanda. But yeah, she has a walking sprite. That's pretty cool. But why is everyone else crossed out? I mean, these are just the main party members. And I turned dancing on, and dancing is dancing. I don't know what the hell's happening. Why is Yosh on all of a sudden? Ruh-roh, I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna stop messing around with things. I'm scared. MW's notes. D08.M06.Y2008. That doesn't mean shit to me. The character values are the universal representations of a single character as a number. They are very important in the current custom menu systems. The following are the current numbers. Quar 1, Dark Dude, Bud 3, Silas 4, Rico 5, General 6, Drep 7, Gold 8, Yoship 9, Dancing 10, Shag, or subdues called Shag? Why Shag? And Neela Vega. Who the fuck is Neela Vega? Hyper. G? That's not a number. Oh, what does G even mean? I don't know. Hyper 13, Power Mallet Girl 14, Amanda 15, Admiral Do 16, Silas Light Pockers, Mega Sun? Bro, I don't even know regular Sun. Who the fuck is Mega Sun? Sorite? Didgery? Spaz? Rolf? Plisky? You're just making shit up, aren't you? Lev, bass tone, add more as needed. Just keep the assignments well documented here. Whatever you say. The party leader is Amanda. The party rusher is nobody. The player's name's Panicard. Yeah. Defining your naming style. Original. I mean, I guess it is an original name, I suppose. I don't know what's happening. Okay, that's a lot of things. I'm gonna save in here. On a separate save. You can be save number 15. Get the hell away from the other ones. What if you kill Amanda while I am Amanda? Will I just game over? She's not even here. Heal me. How do I even change characters anyway? Like, nobody's even getting added, or what? I don't even have the smallest idea what the hell's happening, so I'm just gonna leave. I can't not be Amanda anymore, so we're just gonna be Amanda. It's oh, it's the old sprites again. And a character that was not even shown in this game or the previous game. Whoa! I didn't know that would happen. I just went to examine it. Why am I'm in the music room. Play music? Let me talk to them first. Play music? Okay, that's all you guys ever fucking want. Is each of these a different song? Doppel Strength, Underachievers, Pyro Mallet Girl, Flaming Hammer Boy, Air Battle, Easy Battle, Batty Twist, Daily Disco. I guess these are just all the songs we've heard in the game. What's this one? I'm not sure. Did we hear this one? Is this a slow version of what's already playing? I think it is. Also, I can move. Yeah, it's just this song, but it's just super slow. Oh my god, there's so many fucking songs! Heathlet's School Teak Village? I don't even know what the hell Heathlet's is. A future town? Jesus Christ, it cannot be this many tracks. I don't got time to listen to all these, so I guess I'll just preview it for a second. Fleeting Battle? Yeah, I haven't heard this either. Would it still play if I leave? No. Okay, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to listen to, and I'll probably save that for the end. Oh, no, you tell me to touch the picture. Excuse me. View EX font. Capital A, yeah. Jesus Christ. Amanda looked at the shelf. She didn't find anything interesting. Interesting that you know I'm playing as Amanda. And also, the light. Neat effect. And look at the TV. Oh, now I can examine things. Go to the Sunrise test map? Are you going to ask me to go somewhere too? Go to Miko's chipset test map? What the hell are these fucking... Are these painted on? Interesting. Cool. What's going on in here? Do not allow other events to continue in the message display option. Okay. Always allow other events to continue in the message display option. Will do. Well, you should probably make note that this map is only for testing the sunrise function and nothing at all else. We'll have to make the official field environment later on. Won't that be tedious, It is daytime now. Go to evening. Okay. It's evening. See him up there? He is a control event. All the data for the sunrise is in him. Ooh. Can't talk to him though. He's too busy sunrising. Go to nighttime. Ooh. Spooky. That's a long-ass transition, though. Nothing else around here. How do I leave? Good question. Call the sun up. There's 2 sunrises? figured it would play that. And he's gone. I guess it cost him his life to do this one. Also, I talked to everybody in here. How do I leave? Good question. Am I stuck in here? Maybe. Wait, he got up. He has nothing to say, though. Oh, there he goes. Why did it take you so long? I guess I probably have to quit and get out. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I want to be Hyper again anyway. We only controlled him for a second. He's supposed to be the debug guy, not Amanda. Let me in. Yes, I know the code. 7, 7, 6. I gotta type this in again. You know, this doesn't matter. But it matters to me, damn it. Okay, so note to self, I can get stuck. Yes. I wonder what multiplayer thing was even going to be available. Probably just some mini games. Well, I don't know what the heck else it would be. Here, save over this one. There we go. I want to sparkle like I'm supposed to. Secondary household. It's related to multiplayer in here. Or maybe I'll get my answer. But we're not done here yet. I didn't check out the other map. Okay, what's Miko's chipset test map? It looks like the other one, but what is it? You done here? Oh, now there's a guy. Don't worry, just take your time. Well, thank you, Miko's chipset. You're much nicer than the other one that trapped me here. So what's this one all about? It's much bigger. Uh-huh. No, it just scrolled again to make me think it was bigger. But is there anything to see? And I'm afraid I'm just gonna blind something. All I can do is go in circles. Well, it certainly is a test map. I don't know what it's testing exactly. Maybe it's just texting the scrolling world or something. I don't know. Well, that was the thing. I hope I'm not missing anything. Okay, so that's that. But what's in here? Oh, the power mode meadow? Sure. Power mode testing meadow. This looks neat. I like this. Whoa. The hell's playing right now? The moon tree here will glow when the key check mode is on. The what? Write a value into variable 8 special mode? Sure. Whoa, it's Kirby Warrior. He's spinning. Get that out of here. Power mode 2003 documentation. This is just going to be technical jargon that I won't understand, isn't it? It sure is. Okay, I'm not going to read all this shit. So get me out of here. This here will display what value of the key mod you are using right now. Sure, nothing. That's true. Test set animation. Whoa! A 25 frame animation was at 7-10 seconds long. Whoa! The 20 frame animation was 5-10 seconds long. Whoa! My 99 frame animation was 28 10-seconds long. Cool. Hi, Drac. You're going to at least need me in order to use the post office itself. Go to the party annex and get me. What? Why? Sure. Where'd I even come from? I came from like right here. There we go. Okay, I have an objective, I guess. And what's down here? Would you like to go to the Storybook archives? Maybe I should save that till the end. Inspect new save menu layout. Neat. Uh-oh. Can I uninspect it now? Help! I'm stuck here. And that's why we save. Okay, we saw it. Yeah, good call saving this for the last its own episode, huh? Okay, I guess I have to figure this out. Okay, you're available now. And you're available. Or are you? I clicked on you, you're not in the party. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like, it switches to Silas, but it doesn't add anyone else. And so, therefore, I am confused. I don't know if this is supposed to be a puzzle or something. Like, maybe it is? But fuck if I understand what's going on. Well, I don't have Drac. Is Kirby Warrior enough? Okay, where was it again? It was this way. No, not you. Hey, where the heck did I go? No, this is... I'm already forgetting where the heck I even came from. It was, what is it? It says, yeah, power mode medal. Yeah. Will you let me in the post office now? I don't know how to get to Drac. And I don't know how to add any more party members either. God damn it. Why do I need you specifically? I wasn't expecting to do puzzles right now. You're really good at making me feel stupid, game. Well, if I just fart around with it long enough, maybe I'll just figure it out. Ironically, maybe I have to switch to Amanda. You know, but she deletes everybody. Kinda. You talk to you, then click on you, and then click on you. I mean, you're all marching, and that's cool. Then I unclick you, and I click you, and what even changed? I don't even know. Unclick, unclick, click. No, we're just heading backwards now. What if I click you in while Yoshi's going? And I can undo you, and then I could do that. And here's Silas. And that. Okay, somebody here has to activate Drac, I guess. But it can't be Silas. I just went completely backwards. Bud activates Drac, I guess. Then is you. And now nobody's jogging. What the fuck am I doing? I don't know. All I know is I ain't got time for this. Whatever it is. Ugh, I don't know. You're confusing the shit out of me. You know what? Fuck the post office. We ain't got time. Anyway, we're gonna go check out the multiplayer room. Rename player? No. Odds are that the multiplayer system will be very different from adventure mode. When we do end up making it back there, only hyper will be allowed. Cool. The multiplayer battle rooms are currently under development. You might want to try out the post office upstairs. But I can't get in the post office because this shit won't let me. For some reason. Or the party annex, he says. Solve a fucking puzzle. Tea. Oh. Then you should go and get some. Yeah, thanks. MW's notes. Jargon. Well, currently speaking, multiplayer in such a system like RPG Maker is still impossible. You sure seem to advertise it a whole lot, as if it is possible. What I call this Star Drop engine is a way of expanding RPG games to allow a sort of pass-along communication between games. It's not a new concept, I'd call it more of an ignored one. The algorithm it uses hasn't really been in good use since 1987. In a sense, you might call it old. Come along TCP IP protocol exchange games not on a console that allowed for extra controller ports. Never used it again. The only two games I know that have used similar systems at all within the past 10 years are the Oracle Zelda games for Game Boy Color and the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I first began documenting the engine in late 2006. This is my first time actually going through with it. Hopefully it will go well, R. Sure. Hello, Hyper. Do come in. Welcome to Multiplayer Household. Item trading can be found upstairs. I can't do shit because you want me to solve this fucking puzzle that I don't understand. But I guess I kind of have to, don't I? Fine. If we have time at the end, I'll try and do that. Let's music more. I'm not even saying words anymore. Infinite Shoreline. Well, this is pleasant. And this one just says it's City Trial. This doesn't sound like City Trial. Oh, this is a song I heard before. He Fritz! Fleeting Battle. Wait a minute. It's just the same thing. Except it's just titled a little bit different. Town. This is a nice little song. Alright, ninja battle. Oh, hello. Are we gonna have another 8-bit area or something? Or it's just gonna be a stylistic choice of song. Right, lounge. Same thing. I mean, it says the same thing, but it's a different song. This isn't. Yeah, it's like a little bit different, I think. Unless I'm fucking tripping. Oh yeah, there was a city trial mode in this game originally, wasn't there? Or at least planned for one. I wonder how the heck that would work in this. Man, to call this ambitious would be an understatement. Okay, now this is just Kirby music. Kirby music in my Kirby fan game? Ridiculous. Oasis 1. This is really nice, though. We don't have time to listen to everything fully, though. Is this Palm Desert before and Palm Desert after? Now, I've actually been to Palm Desert. I didn't see no Oasis. Or did I? I don't remember there being one there. I sure as hell don't recognize this song. Okay, this is just this song. Sine waves and foggy days. Okay, and these aren't untitled, they're just nothing. Twisted Legend. Alright, this is the song that played at the beginning of the game. Crystal. Not sure if we heard this one or not. Wonder Within Night. Our story with the gentle voice. I still have a bunch of shit to read, so I can't be spending too much time. Alright, Flash Pipe. Okay, I've heard this one before. Where was this played again? Somewhere. Industrial Glitch. I can't tell if this is dungeon or boss battle music. Either way, I kind of like it. And yo, my foes! There's some shenanigans-ass music. It's like goon music. Night Sunrise. Type A! Is this what we heard before? Maybe. Doppel strength. Okay, we definitely heard this. That's for the Doppel battles. Underachievers. We certainly heard this one. Cryo Mallet Girl. I don't know who that is. But she should probably get her own music. Okay, if these are all stuff we've heard before, we've heard Flaming Hammer Boy. What's Air Battle? Did we hear this one? I know I've heard this before, but did I hear this in game? Easy Battle. I definitely heard this one too much. Daily Disco. Okay, yep. Definitely heard that one. And Sandy Scuffle. And yeah, we heard this. Okay. Alright, there's one more thing I want to check out. And it's, actually no. Was anything else? From here, the path leads to the debug mode pathways. It connects to debug mode west, east, and north. Okay, cool. Here's all the main characters, but talking to them doesn't do anything. Oh, hello! Mushroom Cave test map? God, there's so much stuff. Ooh. Okay, I kind of remember this from years ago. Well, this looks nice. Very impressive. I don't know how this would come into we put in the context of the story. I guess this will be attached to like a forest or something. Cool. Dust Road. Sure is. Is this the place that I went to before? There weren't these markings on the ground. And no orange water. Can I get out of here? Change to wheelie? You lied to me. It doesn't do anything. Add lightning. It lied to me. It doesn't do anything. Can I leave? Oh, save or save or save. How do I get out of here? Talk to the tree. I guess I just gotta reset. Why'd you put a save in a room that traps me? Unless I'm missing something. That's okay. Actually, I'm really running out of time now. I gotta hurry this up. Okay, quickly. Anything else? That's gonna be a long-ass episode. Actually, is that another room over here? It is. It's okay. It's just a bathroom, though. Cool. Any other cool maps? Skill grid map. I guess we never got to see this. So we'll check one of these out. Ooh. And here it is. Yeah, I remember this. Spend 5 AP to open the path. I ain't got no AP, son. So this is how normally you would acquire abilities. And I wonder what that TNT is. Maybe that would give me Crash instead of just getting it normally. Maybe. Can I leave? Yeah. I'm not seeing an exit. Well, that's okay. We have the magical ability to reset. Okay, neato. Anything else? And by anything else, I mean anything else besides the story stuff that I was saving for last, specifically. No, not over here. Okay, yeah, try to talk to you, you, and you. You're also skill grid? Okay, we're not looking at one more skill grids. You got one more thing to do. Let's go to the Storybook Archives, and this will be it. Ooh, shadow effects, or light effects, I guess. That's cool. MW hasn't been feeling quite as motivated about finishing the whole plot sign-up as he promised. It's a good 5,000 words of material thus so far, but it just isn't very far in yet. So he had me build up this place to bide for some time. A nice somber little place like this is good for reading. If I must admit anything, the sprite editing I've done so far are total pieces of crap. If it is not too much to ask, may someone more skilled go over the book edits and KO'd poses and the current sheets. Whatever you say. The hell was that noise? Hyper looked at the shelf. He took a book. It seemed to be a poem in familiar handwriting. Read it. The cursed wind at glowing dusk. It looks for its due air. You're going to be doing slow text now? It stole the wish of he who not begun to fade in air. The cursed wind at starlit night spoke false at his nightmare. And noble soul who at command lost in arroyo fair. Is that a word? I wish for sound, one heard, foreign how, but in eternal gales I cry for it to be my own. The tortured soul was born in mist, vast in water's flow. Naked he wept, alone he slept, undone to his own cry. Awoke from what he did not sleep, and begged for his own rest. Reason not, the slowest thought, drowned in the seas of rage. I wish for sight of it, seen plight, but in forever fate I hope. My burdens lead me there. I thought I could do what to help the cursed gale lift, but only in my honest try I have now seen it hold. I wish for sound, one heard, foreign how, but in eternal gales I cry for it to be my own. Are we going in circles? And in a simple wish I hex this mock from my soul. The cursed wind of Diamond Gate fears and hates this cage, the wall of chains that no Galroth is seen in starlit grave. Well, that's very poetic. But what does that have to do with Kirby Warrior? Also, yeah, I'm seeing a little exclamation read symbol here. That's what's making that noise. Cool. Hyper looked at the shelf. Took a book. It's called Crafted in Songe, a Dilemma. No, wait. Is all this just fancy poetry MW made, or what? You should remember that each line of the text box can fit in 50 unformatted characters. If a face picture is present, then it is down to around 38. That's why we don't have those anymore. Naturally, all the formatting, like calling colors and pause points, do not count. Jesus Christ. I know this room has very little effect on the entire game outside of the information held within it, but seriously? Ship RTP? Don't we have something that looks nicer? What's wrong with ship RTP? What, you don't like reading shit on a boat? Anyway, I may as well... God, I'm going to have to do the rest of this later. It's going to go on for so long if I'm trying to read all of this. Well, strap in. My apologies. I was going to put that information in here, but the backup was running late with the last book. Next time, or maybe not. I looked at the shelf. He took a book. The Spirits of This World. Okay. Oh, what I will tell you now is that the plot would be best optimized if the summoner characters Dancing and Prancer are 4 summons each. But the rest of them on Dancing's End will be the Nila Vega Shag equal of a secret character. Not much has been planned for either of them, but I will only program 8 slots of summons max. However, I have an older character named Carbon. I gave him a rough time in his work only to not release it, so I'd like to suit him for a role. Yeah, I'm feeling really bad about that. In fact, I was rewriting his death scene over and over just for the thrill it was giving me. Anyway, based on the idea that Carbon is a rather odd name and we have no hooks for any more summons, outside of the secret unlocks that will be returning as optional characters while actually retaining a slight appearance in the main story, Zeb and Poppy triplets, respectively. Spoilers! I've devised a creative bait in the form of theme naming. Dancing summons will be named after the 4 chemical requirements needed for sustaining life: carbon, methane, nitrogen, and water. While Prancer summons will be named after the 4 stages of death: pallor mortis, algor mortis, rigor mortis, and livor mortis. We ain't getting shit from the book. He's just fucking yapping to us as I'm holding it. Likewise, to bring up the plot a bit, I also suggest that at least each of the summons on each side have known each other in their lone life. For Carbon, I recommend another character I had from his story that I only identified as her and the Holy Woman and pseudo-love interest. Don't worry, it turned out oddly ironic considering she killed him. That aside, I'd give her a slot in Prancer's party under the name of Penello or Pale. Get the idea here? The other 5-6 summons can be anyone possible, but only 4 of them would be allowed, I want the summons to be important in this game. We should treat them as full party members and given them weight in the cutscenes. Is that what some of those other characters were that I didn't recognize? I already forgot their names. It's called Zreb, Zephyr, and the Zion Company. My apologies, I was going to put that information here, but the backup was running late with the last book. Next time, R. Okay, nothing to say about that one. It's got Quar and Dark, paradoxical friends. Okay, you're going to explain why these two are friends to begin with, despite Quar supposedly being a good guy and Dark being a psychopath? Well, at least I would like to know about that, but I guess we just have to imagine. A proposal for Silas's backstory. I guess you're going to have to headcanon that one too. What about who they are? Who are they? Nobody knows. Maybe the hooded figures from the previous game. That was supposed to be probably in this game. I didn't forget. Okay, it's called Character Psychology. Okay, I remember a long time ago hearing about character psychology from Kirby Warrior. I don't remember if there's any for any other characters, but let's find out. Character psychology is something I've studied as a writer. A thorough understanding of it can help contribute to a character's unforgettable quality. So Linda Serger says anyway, creating unforgettable characters, ISBN 1397808. Jesus fucking, I'm not reading all that. An average but still decent character book. While it was helpful from the start by introducing the edge of research, it's still only so average in terms of enlightening material. The examples they give are rather half-rate too. You may have an idea of how this line of thinking with character psychology can be used in KWRPG-III's context already, given the nature of WK's motivation and Quar's decline into madness. But it's important that I list things here under our collective research for the game, From here, I'll quote the book itself. Read the quote. I'm sure you know the old saying, all of us are a little bit crazy, and 3 more than me. Most psychologists recognize that the line between norm and abnormal is not a clear-cut one. If you are writing a script about an abnormal personality, whether about a schizophrenic, a manic depressive, a paranoid, or a psychotic, you would need to do a great deal of specific research about the complexities of these personality disorders. In order to create the character of Raymond Babbitt, Barry Merrill needed to know the characteristics of the autistic savant, and the mentally retarded. Barry relates that he became interested in the autistic savant. I had volunteered some time every year to the Association for Retarded Citizens. One afternoon we were having a break and I felt a tap on is that in quote? I don't know. Shoulder, and thereon half-inch from my nose was the nose of Rain Man. Kim is his name, and he looked He looked his Lou with a sort of quizzical look on his face and said to me, "Think about it, Barry Merrill." And I took a good yard step back, cocked my head, and thought about what he had said, as if it was sort of like a Zen master in its own peculiar way. Just then his father showed up to make sense of it all. He introduced me to Kim, and he said that Kim was so excited to meet me that's why he got his words mixed up. What he meant to say was, I think about you, Barry Merrill, and he turned his head another way and started making his groaning sound and started to say some names really fast. I didn't know what was going on, but then I recognized one name that seemed familiar, and then another, and I realized what he was doing was reciting the names of the credits from my movies. Then he started again with numbers, but they are going by so fast it made no sense, and his father asked him to slow down and told him that I didn't understand. He slowed down, and I realized that he was giving my phone numbers of the last 8 or 10 years over and over again. His father said he memorizes phone books, a hobby thousands. He generally only memorizes the yellow pages, but in my case, he made an exception. Anything he reads, he commits to memory. The more questions I asked, the more astounded I was by the answers, and there seemed to be no end to the amazing aspects of this person. I flew home and my head was just spinning. I just knew I had met one of the world's extraordinary creatures, and how privileged I must have been. Whereas Kim was the original model for Raymond. Dustin Hoffman chose a different one for him, according to Ron Bass. Dustin did a tremendous amount of research on the classic autistic personality. He modeled his characters after a very particular guy. This person had a brother who was not autistic. I sat with the brother at a great deal. He would imitate his stoic brother, and I began to get a rhythm of the guy. I needed to find ways in which the guy would do things were quirky and autistic, but somehow were charming rather than off-putting. That's why we use the notion of keeping the personal injury list. It's universal. Hi, MW, you want to come over here? Since we all do it ourselves to some extent, it's very personally relatable. You can have rituals that are obnoxious and very distasteful, but can also have rituals that are very adorable. With only 2 hours for a movie, we chose what was charming and interesting rather than off-putting. Understanding abnormal behavior is essential when writing these kinds of characters, but also having some knowledge in abnormal behavior can also be helpful when writing about normal characters. All of us have some of these elements within us. Giving your normal character some of these characteristics can add conflict and interest. David Williamson, the Australian writer of Gallipoli and Farlap, has a master's degree in psychology. He finds it useful to think of his characters in terms of clinical abnormal personality models. Although this is not how he creates them, he often returns to this model during the rewrite phase, pushing his characters slightly off the normal line in order to create more drama and more interest. Clinical psychology identifies a number of personality or temperament types that are seen as hindering the person's psychological functioning. Williamson diagrams them in this way: extroverted, manic, paranoid, psychopath, or sociopath, normal behavior line. Depressive, schizophrenic, anxiety, neurotic, introverted. As with personality types, a character with an abnormal personality does not always fall completely in one category. Manic depressives fluctuate between the two, as do paranoid schizophrenics. You might draw upon these categories for broad strokes and consistency in creating normal characters, as well as to create a strong dynamics between characters. Manic types think they can do anything. They appear very optimistic, exhibiting a kind of emotional euphoria, highly excitable and often very social, easily given to emotional outbursts. They can be frivolous and over-talkative. Their attentive span in order is short and the threshold for boredom extremely low. Furthermore, as they pursue what they want, they tend to trample on others with little thought. Characters who are normal but also have some manic qualities may be workaholics, driven by the need to succeed. They may be driven by greed, by a belief that everything will work out and they can build a whole new world, or by a conviction that they can do anything. Depressives are on the other side of the coin. They tend to conserve their emotional energy. They are subject to black moods, feelings of worthlessness and inferiority. Some tend to be hypochondriacs or to blame themselves even when they are not at fault. Schizophrenic characters have appeared in a number of successful films. They tend to be shy, self-conscious, overly sensitive, and easily embarrassed. They protect their ego by avoiding open conflict. They withdraw, sulk, and generally have a difficult time communicating. Arthur Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird might be considered borderline schizophrenic, and Macon in The Accidental Tourist could be considered a normal personality with some schizophrenic traits, brought on by his grief over the death of his son. Paranoids believe people are out to get them. As a result, they tend to be aggressive. They want to be leaders, to have power and prestige over others. They are decisive, stubborn, opinionated, defensive, often competitive, arrogant, conceited, and boastful. They often harbor unreasonable grudges, are quick to take offense, and are are very sensitive to any personal criticism, which supports their belief that others don't like them. Anxiety neurotics worry about and fear everything. They are concerned about personal safety, terror-stricken about the greenhouse effect, an ozone layer, acid rain, rape, and the realities of life. For them, disasters lurk everywhere. They spend their lives trying to avoid anxiety. The favorite anxiety neurotic for many moviegoers is Woody Allen in such films as Annie Hall and Zelig. The obsessive-compulsive character is also a neurotic. We see the sociopath, who is antisocial, or psychopath, who is also mentally unbalanced in many films, as well as 10 daily newspapers. These are often the villains in the story, hardened criminals, and the people with no moral center who can be fearless, untrustworthy, out of their own personal gain and self-preservation. Often armed with no empathy for others as an antagonist, a sociopath or psychopath will go to any lengths to impede the good intentions of the protagonist. These characters do not transform. If you decide to have characters who are psychopaths or sociopaths, remember that they cannot become normal, well-adjusted individuals by story's end. Drama and conflict come to the relationship between these characters. Paranoids need someone to persecute them and will find the manic's aggressiveness a threat. The manic finds the depressive's lack of energy and drive or frustration. The psychopath has no understanding of the anxiety neurotic's fears. Okay, look. As interesting as this all is, the computer's literally about to die. And I don't think any of this has much to do with Kirby Warrior anyway, but this is certainly interesting. But I can't come back to this. My computer's about to die and this is too much to go back through again. So I'm going to actually pause it right here and continue on to the other books. This is actually a first I had to do this. Okay, hold on. Alright, here I am again, many hours later, at night, just so I can finish this up. Holy crap, this is going to be a long-ass fucking episode, but I want to get this over with. There's only a little bit left. Okay, so I only got to this one, and... Okay, I'm going to try not to, take us too much time, because I don't want to read every single thing if they're as long as this one. I believe this had 2 different sections to it. So we at least, skim through here, at least a little bit. Mamma mia. Was this covering both, or is these 2 separate sections? Let's go to the application. This rather degrading method of making characters can be of special help in developing our main cast. It should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that Warrior Kirby is a natural paranoid schizophrenic, but by no fault of his own. As a result, the only peculiar effect... Okay, you know what? I'm going to give each of these a few minutes. If it starts taking longer than 2 or 3 minutes, then I'm going to just skip over it. I'm going to have to set some kind of standard here. As a result, the only peculiar effect it should have on his leadership skills in commanding is that he must withdraw to solitude whenever his stress levels get a bit unruly. After all, he doesn't want to upset anyone, does he? A common thing to do would be relinquishing his commanding role to the second-in-command, Admiral Do, when he just can't take it. A commanding shadow would be his good 2 words like that. On the other hand, there's Quar. Quar is a manic paranoid. When manic is in his natural personality type, contributing to his haste, the paranoia he feels from his many situations with PMG out to get him, and the fears of Warrior Kirby is enough to persecution to act as fuel for a fire. Combined, it results in a deadly force that drives Quar's discrimination against Doppels and motivations to get the crystal keys, which later in the game will start coming at any cost whatsoever. Okay, this is the more important thing that I was like referring to earlier, because it actually like refers to like directly to the game itself. Other characters can have these things applied to them as well. Dark, for instance, is a sociopath, albeit a very clever one. It's always present how witfully antisocial he is, but we should show it more with time. Silas is a schizophrenic depressive. Granted, there's still a lot of character development on him I still need to bring to the table. However, given his nature of a timid, moralistic, yet incredibly cowardly, and to his own dismay, self-denying person, it still fits him well. Bud is Bud. He's null under this system because looking at him under it would just result in getting amused at the sight of a beach jellyfish. I'd actually say he's a little bit of every type of crazy, but by the logic the system presents, that would actually mean he's perfectly sane. Yep, Black devised logic. Makes sense? Rico is an emotionless drone, no matter what new characterization will be brought to the table. Even if he had a true self under the guise of an inner operator or avatar under free will, he's still a very dated robot. I'm actually going to lose my voice after all this. General D is a single-mind paranoid. This works both as he is and in the directions I'd like to take his character with the Sequoian backstory. All that's needed more is to add just a tiny drop of antisocial nature and an equally small touch of misanthrope under suppressed to perfect his image. We know very little of Zreb at this current point in time. Maybe once the Sequoian backstory grapples him in a bit, we'll have a clearer picture of him as both android and person. Huh? Zreb? Though to take a good guess to say he's probably another sociopath would be reasonable enough. I only wish had any idea who Yosh was. Seriously, people, we need to get on that part. Given the state that he joins the party well after Quar has gone past the point of no return, with dancing and Prancer, see KW for that, Yoshobi would probably have to be one of the most outrageous choices Quar could possibly make for a friend. Gold is a prime example of a manic. Driven by pure greed in everything he does, he could also add a touch of sociopath to him to make it so that the greed will trump almost everything else in the world, almost. I don't imagine Neela Vega having any of these qualities without them seeming trivial. I still don't know who that is. She might just be a foil to Gold in terms of how utterly materialistic her brother turned out to be. Oh, his sister? On a similar note, I don't think dancing has any classification under this area either, as her character flaws come from another source. I'll go over that in due time. Will you? Likewise, pretty much the entire doppelganger force are pretty normal guys. All of them might have their own quirks, but you'll find out that what sinister nature they do have, it comes in very little amounts. Zabre the exception. That guy's nuts, man. I was about to bring him up. It's like, he's a serial killer, is he not? Okay, see, that one's reasonable. But it is... I'm scared to get through all of these, too. Let's just get this over with. Okay, he took a book, The Doppelgangers and Not. I'm sure that most of you who have been on this inside of us have probably known for a while that the doppelgangers are only affably evil. The truth of the matter might just be that they are much nicer people than the originals. Heck, Light would probably bake the entire cookies out of courtesy if Dark wasn't calling him a fruit cup non-stop. Likewise, Pocris has a sense of humor just as big as Bud's, hiding behind his tough demeanor, yet he also is laid back enough to make it considerably less annoying and to his co-workers. Other characters' mock-ups include Prancer becoming uncomfortable with the whole deal and moving out of WK's ranks to live a normal life on her own. Admiral Do will also be toned up to look as much of a respectable guy as possible from the Sequoian backstory. Kaboshi might only be the team's butt monkey, but we can woobify him a good amount too. We still don't really know much about him, her. Okori is probably a nice guy too, a desirable mock-up of what a great personality Rico doesn't have. Yeah, it's weird that he has a personality and Rico doesn't. He's still a weird anomaly to me. I don't quite understand how that even works, but maybe that was meant to be explained. Some of the doppelgangers don't really shine well under this idea. A little more character development is all that's needed for this. Silas, for one, his only lines in the current build-up only include lying and threats of death. However, we can easily go from that to him just being a crass jerk with a heart of gold, who also fumbles up a whole lot too. Silver has no official lines yet, but from what KW tells me, Neela Vega's entrance comes at the hands of him being a considerable annoyance. Didn't we see Silver? But none of that doppelgangers are all really bad at all. The whole point of the story is for Quar's ignorance of the truth and hasty judgment to get the better of him in every possible way. Due to the whole recolor idea, it will be very possible to get chapters of the game told from the view of their team. With at least Silas, Zabray, Silver, and Kirboshi is fully playable. Okay, that's also what I was wondering, because they seem to be in like the party room, so I don't know if they're to join the party or I guess this was meant to be a side story. But if they join the party, what the heck are we even fighting against? Like the evil inside of Warrior Kirby or something? I don't know. Admiral Do should also get a good role here too, but that might take some more legwork. Just edit that over Subdue when he's 32-bit style. The idea of those possible chapters is to show only the player that they are a team too, and they have to put up with a good amount. Possibly even more, considering that they have to be ultra careful of their own commanding shadow. While it is ultimately his wish to use the crystal wish to seal his own inner demons away, okay, that reveals that, they have to make sure he's in enough of a sedated self-denial so the inner demon doesn't become aware of the conspiracy against it and go wild. That is hoping it still doesn't know and isn't making WK's put up a false act just to use them to give it control of the crystal wish. Well, that's complicated. Yes, even they are hoping that the same belief Quar's side is driven by isn't true. They're not even sure themselves. Letting the player in on even a bit of this strange yet amazing team dynamic is absolutely necessary, if only to show that they're afraid of it too, just like everyone else. Of course, there are also the little details they get that only sort of prove to them that the nice side of Wark is indeed in control of things. The main thing being that he allows Prance to go out on her own, only to promptly return once Quar gives her a good thrashing. But even with all this nice painting, the core truth of the Doppel is that they are products of messing around with life's own building blocks. Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA, sure. Their presence still requires me to look into cloning and DNA as a proper topic of research for the game. Just as I've already looked into gemstone psychology, to your left, and trees, with much more to go through in terms of needed info. From the cloning research, we can take what we want from it and mess with it enough until we have some enough of pseudo-science material that will then explain the then false procedure that was used to create the doppelgangers. Of course, this will only get us listed in tvtrope.org's You Fail Biology Forever, but if we make it sound real, it'll become impressive. But yeah, that's the thing. This doesn't have to be literal, it just has to be believable, because this is still a fantasy after all. Of course, you already knew this. All of it, in fact. Why am I even telling you all this? Well, this is where my suggestion comes into play. The Doppels are the product of a scientific experiment. It would be absurd to think they got it right the first time, The first product they got probably was the equivalent of the earthbound worthless protoplasm. But once they started getting into higher level beings, they still couldn't have gotten such a perfect result like light so quickly. The earlier Doppels must have been ridden with birth defects, and the later ones, if a Doppel is the reverse of a person, or if that person was a generally nice one, they could have brought into being an utmost savage or evil soul. To prevent damage, that Doppel must be euthanized as soon as this is seen. This is probably the less savory side of the doppelgangers. The team is killing their own undesirable. It'll be late game when this truth becomes apparent, but I'm sure Quar will use this as a case against the Doppels too. But considering the amount of vile acts he's committed himself by then, he'll only look like a hypocrite. At any rate, these tainted souls know of their fate, and some of them even try evading it by escaping their gene therapy nurseries before the lethal injection is to come. Upon escape, some will vow revenge against WK's forces, while others will try to prove that they are wrong. Both options end up with big trouble. They'll become big headaches for the main Doppel team, dangerous to society. And if Quark sees them, they'll only enforce deeper that his idea that the doppelgangers are dangerous and that Warrior Kirby is planning the world's end. Now this sounds very nice, R. So who should these Doppels be of? Well, other characters of the cast. Hyper and Amanda are good choices. We didn't see either. They already made characters of Zabray and Flaming Hammer Boy fit well with this group, given how unlike the other Doppels they are. More of them can end up being the members of the 12th raid. Well, Hammer Boy was an accident. And we can also fit in the rest of the KW RPG 1 and 2 cast in here. I thought you were going to pretend the KW 1 characters didn't exist. Or are we talking about the ones we've already been using? The most of them will remain unseen characters without action, while the more aggressive ones will work their way into the main plot. Interesting. All this is really bringing up like a lot of memories. There's a reason this place stuck out to me among many things in this game. I have to freaking interject somewhere because I don't get many chance to even talk. Holy shit. It's also bringing up memories of me talking with MW personally back in the day. And even back then, he was talking about... Well, actually, I say even back, that's around the same time frame, to be honest. But bringing up psychology and, like, coding and stuff. I remember he recommended a book to me called like, Drawing on, like, the Right Side of Your Brain or something. I did actually end up renting that book from the library, but I never finished it. And... he was also telling me about, I believe it was coding for websites, and I was doing all this shit in, like Notepad and shit. But that didn't really go on for very long. Anyway, there's my site, Tangent. Did I just look at this one, or are we in the... No. Races of the Archipelago. My apologies. I was going to put the information in here, but the backup is running late with the last book. Next time, R. You know, I'm kind of glad, because this is a lot. Honestly, this is like crazy how much you put in here. This would have been must have taken forever. And it's like, it doesn't even feel like entirely necessary either. But it is impressive. Okay, the Sequoian backstory? No. The 12th Raid, a biography. God, there's so much fucking lore and like thought put into the characters. It's honestly kind of crazy. The tragic tale of Sergeant Miko? Well, the real tragedy is we never get to learn about him. Springleaf Elementary? Game, what are you even talking about? There's so much. Okay, what's over here? What to do with Sinian Rays? I guess we'll never know. Also, who? Oh, helpful Discmaster. Yep, he's so swell. I guess that's the end of that book. There's your Discmaster reference for the game. Bad fan fiction, General D. What does that even imply? That's like, just looking at the titles is interesting. It is called The State of Magic in KWRPG 3. Nope. Am I already done? The Crystal Key Philanthropy. Oh, man. Alyssa L'Espoir, a journalist. Does not exist. Oopsie. Spaz and Ralt, more of MimW's inserts. Well, then he didn't be inserted that well. The other Bud, an idea that we will never know about. You mean his actual clone, or was there another Bud? We'll never know. Keepers of the Water Temple. Play Zelda to find out about that one. The Tenuto trope goes canonical? Oh yeah, they're the music group from Dream Edition. But that sounds a little self-explanatory. They're on the game world. Oh, here's something. The game world in the new draft of KWRPG III is something sought to be much better defined. KW's old draft for the game featured a seamless and very complex maze of roads and caves for the game world. While this was a great concept, the samey texture of all paths made it more confusing to know where you are or going. In my opinion, it still kinda is sometimes, but maybe I'm just bad with directions. Who knows? A great maze is a good idea, in terms of game design anyway. Plenty of areas all meshing together for great exploration. However, the first execution of this was shoddy, and my initial attempts at prettying up the road system often fell flat. The difference chipset in the Maple region in the rough draft was the best mustard. That's why I proposed the idea of the archipelago. What it will basically do is separate each area, be them maple, oak, palm, from each other and let them live as separate beings of themselves. They could either be floating islands in the clouds or normal islands on the ocean below. The map in the prototype post office is a quick mock-up of what the idea looks like. This allows us to limit the player's movements a bit. They'll only advance to the next island once their quests on the current are finished with. You would force them to do all the quests? Or you just mean main story stuff? However, we'll ease up on this as a bit as the game goes along. First, we will make it so that the small groups of regions are interconnected and be reached there by foot. First connecting redwood to palm, then pine to mangrove and larch, with sequoia containing 4 more local areas to be reached. From there, the story will be mostly linear. First, it would be that the party uses the airship of enemy to be Megason. Oh, there's Megason again, I guess we get an idea who this is, where he will drive them from maple to oak, then redwood to pine. After that, the player can reach Sequoia by stowawaying on a cargo airship while evading guards. Soon, travel on the ocean level will be open with the player getting a traditional sailboat, and thus allowing free roaming half of the game. They may return to the skies when dancing collects a total of 4 summon spirits. That's required? Her summoning are not bound by living limitations, and the properties of her crystal summon stones will allow them to fly the party around. We'll detail it fully in her character biography. Either way, with a ride of 3 party members per summon, flying will be allowed. Only at this point will we allow free and total roaming of the entire game. Plus, we'll only have to update events for the Sky Isles twice, once for their story roles and another for this point. Add all the side quests here, basically. The Ocean Islands might require a bit more, but it still cuts our needed workload by a lot to produce something of the same quality. And to wonder why the player just can't use a passenger airship, we'll just make a running gag about how Archipel Airbus workers are on strike. My biggest concern about this is how the flying and sailing will be pulled off. It'll be top-notch if we can get a system going to have the player experience every moment of flying or sailing from point to point. They actually control the ship or summon on their course while avoiding enemy swarms. It could be a mix of a top-down scrolling shooter and perhaps using pictures to get an Axley type of thing. Interesting. I looked at the shelf of illness and paranoia. Ever since I first saw KWRPG3, I instantly had a rough idea of the inspirations the game held behind the use of the doppelganger trope. You might accuse me of being Avalon with this whole fetus-killing thing from Earthbound, but I found it rather hard to ignore. Given the history of KWRPG1, was aware of it at the time, Warrior Kirby occurred to me as a very precious symbol of something. Possibly, likewise, other parts of the game had subtle hints at the same symbolism. However, it was only enough to toy with me about it. But I digress about that. People read subtext in different languages, so for me to yell it from the rooftops would be very rude to it as subject matter. But that's not to say I didn't find it to be utterly brilliant. In fact, I'll consider it mandatory that future script revisions play with Warrior Kirby's mental illness a lot more. To pass up a chance to apply this sort of context and theme to the overall story would be just plain moronic. It is subtle underlying things like these that turn good storylines into great ones. Mother 3 had the driving factors of family's importance and corruption away from nature. Who said such heavy stuff wasn't allowed to us? Even in the background away from the core action, it can only serve to benefit us. And this is only Warrior Kirby. I haven't even mentioned how well this can bolster when combined with what Quar represents. Warrior Kirby is a half-grappled slave to an inside force. Suffering from painful impulses, he lacks will to control after living without its rest, only to breed a damning paranoia of his own origin. Meanwhile, Quar has seen the result of that same paranoia. He looks upon it that his own shadow-bred and deranged criminal that seeks suffering of both himself and all he holds dear. So impressed by it, his judgment is writ in stone without knowing from where it hails. They really are each other's mirrors. They're both paranoid. But to create an extra tension, we can possibly whoopify Warrior Kirby. Why does a deranged maniac like him have the support of so many people? It could very well be that a broken image of Quar himself still lurks behind the control of the raging spirit, and he's searching for a cure to his own ailment. Or is he? The persona Warrior Kirby has to be, his own side is that he wants nothing more than to have his unwanted guests sealed away. But to Quar, he's just a monster searching for chaos that shouldn't even handle something as dangerous as safety scissors. What we want the player to ask is, who is really in control? Did the true self of Warrior Kirby shine out to find help, and that's why his minions seek the crystals? Or is it that horrible monster really in control of all of it? Granted, Quar's own paranoia of Warrior Kirby probably won't help his side of the argument. Given how it all thirst him into being a jerk-ass of epic proportions by the end of the game and all, yeah, that'll be a lovely tomato in the mirror moment once they show who the real monster is then. Enough of that. To play this seriously, my last few brainstorms gave output to a duo of characters. Both of them are in the story, and each represents a side of the argument in question. Megason is a former worker of Warrior Kirby's force. He ends up, through Dark's manipulation, ferrying Quar and company around. He starts off ignorant of matters, but the more he learns, the more his, I guess that means fierce loyalty towards Warrior Kirby builds back up. He firmly believes Warrior Kirby will use the wish to simply cure himself of his demons, and he will stop at nothing to help him. So much so, he'll even try to dispose of the party a few times. The next is Discmaster. He is one of the technical routers of Warrior Kirby's HQ and probably has a rather tragic or dubious personal history. Fuck you mean Discmaster? What's he doing over there? He works closely with Warrior Kirby, and while he respects what little of him he sees, he fully thinks that the demon is really in control, and that Warrior Kirby's torment is really just a ruse to give the demon itself control of the wish. He's not entirely sure, but he knows that he can't be so trusting, and always looks for a backup plan. As a result, he'll help out Quar and company at every possible output he can find. You know what I think about it? Does the cast even knowing Disc a canon... does Disc knowing the current cast... what the hell am I even trying to say? Does Disc actually know the current cast and canon? I am tripping myself up. It's late and I've been reading for hours. Because the only time you get Disc and Kirby Warrior 2 is, well, post-game, or New Game Plus, and he's also like a side character in Dream Edition, which isn't even canon to begin with. So I guess this is a very different... I guess it's just ways of bringing him into the actual canon this time. Both characters will be introduced shortly one after another, and both will often carry on this same argument. It's rather uncommon for a game of this stance to whoopify the primary antagonist and demonize the hero. I guess that'll prove to be both dramatic and quite funny. Funny, at least, given the horrible, sadistic, and dead baby comedies we'll have Core put on later in the game. It's called Who's There? Okay. Okay, you're gonna need a water for that one. As the book to your left might have stated, while Warrior Kirby is indeed the main antagonist of the game, the real sinister force he is not. So is the true final boss going to be the demons inside that we're going to fight somehow? What we do know about it is that it was a dark matter spirit that took control of a Waddle Dee to be replaced by Sergeant Miko and berserked. Wait, so the random Waddle Dee is supposed to be Miko? Really? Interesting. Upon defeat, it ran into the nearest thing it could find, possibly out of survival, in case it needed to feed of life force. It found a mirror clone of Quora, which it then took a hold of, but not without consequences. From here, we would presume that it needed to use a good amount of power to fully take an illusion and manifest it completely. Thus, it was drained of most of its power, leaving the mirror itself not entirely in its control. We should also presume that this thing wasn't exactly all-powerful to begin with either. If it was, it would have de-sold Core right upon sight. Yep, simple as that. I was actually shocked to learn that KW hadn't really bothered with who Rook's uninvited guest was. He was leaving Ree's development for later. Who's Ree? Such as who Ree was and why Ree has it in for Quora in the first place, and why is Ree lowercase? I really don't mean to be critical, but such an omission of vital information is extremely bad to the story's overall health. What we do know about it, or at all what KW has told it to us, is that it was related to the last crystal wish made about 1,000 Popstar years ago. Now, but since Popstar is a star, I'll probably need to go on about how much longer years and other space cycles are in Popstar. Likewise, due to what I spout off to be adaptation, the same wave of gravitational force on Popstar, we could also say for safety that the lifespans of the star's naturally birth are considerably longer too. I'll go over this on the planet's formation of crystals later on. Needless to say, if the person in question was evil sealed in a can for 1,000 years on Popstar, we can equate that to 10 million Earth years? Damn. Possibly much more. It takes only 100 years on Popstar for Crystal Rock to form anyway. I'm getting off topic here. Well, at least we can we can understand why our main villain is going super ultra crazy, What we really need to consider doing is getting a think tank together on the subject of this enigma there in WK's head. The outside of my own ideas, the one recommendation on it I wish to make is that there should be more of its kind wandering the story with it. I'll put my own ideas about who Ree could possibly be in another book around here, simply to separate the current canon from the idea swarm. You know what this reminds me of? Of all things, like what has like a kind of similar idea of just these unknown spirit entities like possessing people and you can't really tell who's in control or not, is actually in Kingdom Hearts of all things, the mobile game. Yeah, I actually followed that entire thing. That's what my mind is going. And that's all I have to say for now. I have to probably keep commentary to a minimum because it's already long enough as it is. Also, my brain is kind of shutting down at this point, and I can only take in so much info at a time. Piper looked at the shelf. He took a book. Fun with compression. Discs here. God, what's the voice I gave for you? Who cares? Back when KWRPG 2 was released originally, it was a zip file which had decent compression to it, but only worked so well. If memory serves, the original release was about 75 MB in size, movies included. It amazed me that with using 7-zip, I managed to get it down to around 50 megabytes. Now, with KW3 getting around 43 as of this beta, maybe we should consider a split install method. I mean, it's possible to do this with NSIS, but it's not easy, as each part of the install has to be compressed separately, that I'm aware of anyway. At least updating would be easier this way, since you'd have to only upload the changed parts of the install. Maybe media maps and separation. It's something to think about at the very least. I'll do some research into the installer methods and see what I can come up with. Also, there needs to be a way to detect RTP installs so we can do a few safety checks before the install of the game. I mean, that's the last thing we need. Random crashing just because of something that was missing at install time. That's not lore at all. You're breaking my immersion. Untitled book. Sorry, this book was left blank for future writing. Okay. And I can't examine that, or that, or that, or that. I can examine this. Naming inconsistencies. Like calling Dark DK? Hi KWRPG2 Kirby Warrior, why are you here? Because a lot of the names are inconsistent in this unfinished game, I decided to state all canon names in here. A lot of things have been retconned since the game started over 10 years ago, so this should clear up the confusion. Hyper Kirby is just Hyper now. Real name is Dox. You know, that's the funny thing that we do with like our Kirby characters is like, you know, their names being Blank Kirby isn't their real name. They're just called Blank Kirby as a nickname. But why is his name Dox? Do I want to know why his name is Dox? What the hell is he up to? Quar is Quar. Not Kirby Warrior anymore. I am Kirby Warrior. But the character is Quar. Confused yet? His real name is Camus. Let's just add some more names. You know, I was talking about the dialogue inconsistencies. Drac, not Dark Kirby, not Dark. Dark is a separate character that is in KWRPG 1. Drac has claws and purple feet, Dark does not. Bud is Bud, enough said. His name is already simple as it was. Silas has always been Silas. We don't know who made him though. Rico is still Rico. Well, these are all characters that came from this game to begin with, so they wouldn't have any name changes. General D is now just the General, or General D. The D stands for his real name, Dimitri. Cute. Zerby is now Zerb. Makes him sound more threatening. Yeah, Zerby does sound a little cute. And I guess a character from this game actually does have a name change. Gold Kirby is now just Gold. Not Glod, Gold. Glod is the creator. Dancing Kirby is just Dancing. Her real name is Liam. Yoshirby is just Yosh now. But he's not even the Yoshi. That's a different character. Neela Vega is now called Palladia to fit with the theme. I don't know who that is to begin with. Warrior Kirby is Wark. His name was never used in the actual game yet. His real name is Amos. Light Kirby, Light is now Light. No, his name is not Fruit Cup. So sad. Pakris has always been Pakris. Silas has always been Silas. Ukori has always been Ukori. Admiral Do is now just the Admiral, or Admiral D. The D stands for his real name, Donovan. Zabre has always been Zabre. Silver Kirby is just Silver now. Prancing is always Prancing. Her real name is Griggs. Kerboshi is still Kerboshi, even though Yosh is no longer Yoshirby. Oh, wait. Those are different characters? There was never going to be a level where you meet the failed doppelgangers. These are as follows. Crazy Duck, Mild Mallard. Mild Mallard would actually be crazy, unlike Crazy Duck. Not evil crazy, like Sabre. Wait, so we would never actually see Mild Mallard? I'm so fucking disappointed, even though I wouldn't see him regardless. Hyper, or Lackadaisy, a very lazy doppelganger, doesn't want to leave the castle, probably agoraphobic. I guess there's no point to the character except for just a joke, I guess. And I can't remember the others. Time makes fools of us all. Souls of Desdemona used to be Souls of Thanatos. I felt Thanatos is commonly known by people, so I decided to go with Desdemona instead. Yeah, I definitely don't know. I've heard Desdemona before, at least not that I can remember, but I've definitely seen fiction using Thanatos. And this is KBWRPG 3 Ending and Beyond. Okay, I do remember it talking about the ending and shit. This book was written by Kirby Warrior and consists of his ideas on the ending and beyond. However, this does not reflect exactly how the ending would have played out, if this game were to be completed. I didn't think I'd ever get to write something in here. I may not be the best writer, but I will try my best. I recommend reading this after you play through the main game, until it stops. Also, this will be a long read, but you continue. How long are we talking? The other one didn't even give me a warning. Maybe I'll save this one for last. Actually, this one even available right now? You know what, I should probably read this one first. It's probably in this order for a reason. Okay. I have to brace myself for how long this will be. So the game stops after you fight Prancing and find the new path in the Rapids area. The new path would eventually lead to the unnamed snow town where you meet an alchemist named Yosh, trying to find the secret of making gold. When he notices Gold in your party, he immediately joins you so he can learn Gold's secret. Of course, Gold was lying about the Golden Waddle Dee curse to make an excuse for the party to trust him. He was? I guess he's just like that normally. The reasons for this is so he could steal the crystal keys for himself, which he actually does before escaping to the volcano north of town. And then I guess we're going to have to reconcile with him somehow after that. The party chases him through the volcano until Gold reaches a dead end, then he will give a talk about doing the right thing. Gold eventually gives in and returns to what he stole and rejoins the party. Yosh is very much still interested in how gold came to be made of gold. Upon returning to the snow town, they notice Yosh's doppelganger, Kirby, buying supplies. Okay, no wonder I'm getting thrown off. Yeah, it's the doppelganger's name. Like with Prancing, Quar is quick to act, and they fight Kirby without reason. This causes Kirby to cry. Kirby hates being the supplies guy and wants to be more important. Still crying, he runs out of town. By now, Quar is seeming like quite the jerk, but I didn't think he should be demonized as much as the other KWRPG dev people say. Maybe I don't get storytelling as much as the others. This whole plot was started and inspired because of my own battle with schizophrenia. Turning Quar into an unforgivable monster is a bit harsh of a punishment. He should still be able to redeem himself, but I digress. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still trying to do the right thing, right? The party decides to go back to Sequoia City to regroup, but when they get there, it is taken over by soldiers under order of Admiral Dew. When they find the Admiral, he and General talk about the paths they've chosen and the good times they used to have together. Huh? How's that even... I don't know, I'll let you continue. Just when you think they can put aside their differences and work towards a common goal, Admiral's mood changes. He knows what must be done and the battle ensues. After the battle is over, Admiral states that he got what he came for and bids farewell. He and his troops withdraw. General laments the path his old friend has chosen. After this point, you don't fight another doppelganger until you reach Warrior Kirby's castle again. The party hunt for 2 more keys, and upon acquiring them, they notice 2 of them are of the same color, which means no wish. Was that established they all had to be different colors? They decide to use the keys to enter Warrior Kirby's castle and stop him without the wish. This would be the longest dungeon in the game, but not the last one. It would also be where a good majority of small keys would be used. Oh, finally these come into play. Somewhere in the castle, the party finds the 8 crystal keys that Warrior Kirby had. The only security on it is a sensor that can tell when a key is missing from its encasement. One of Warrior Kirby's keys is a color the party doesn't have. So Jack has the brilliant idea to just switch one of their same colored keys with the new color. With 8 keys of different colors, they decide to confront Warrior Kirby to show him his loss. However, when they reach the final room, they are not greeted by Warrior Kirby, but instead by all the doppelgangers. They inform Quar that the little key switch they did earlier gave Warrior Kirby all the colors he needs to make the wish. The doppelgangers also inform him that Warrior Kirby is headed to the Crystal Key altar as they speak. Did it establish it needed to be on an altar too? I could have just sworn you could just have them together. I don't know, maybe he's just trying to be fancy. The party tells Quar to take the keys to find the altar, so Quar takes the 8 keys and leaves. The rest of the party battles their doppelgangers 3-on-3. When all 9 doppelgangers are defeated, they tell the location of the altar. Would you be screwed at this point if you ignored certain party members? Maybe that's why the game would semi-make you play as all the characters by having like overworld skills, so to make sure that some of them aren't like super underleveled or something. Maybe. Turns out it was hidden under Sequoia City the entire time. With no time to waste, the party go to Sequoia City and hoped Quar would be there as well. Fortunately, Quar and the rest of the party reached Sequoia City at the same time to reunite before heading under the city. This is the final dungeon of the game, but it's supposed to be fairly short. When the party reaches the altar, Warrior Kirby is there with the keys on it, ready to make his wish. He gives a short speech, and then PMG comes crashing through, knocking Warrior Kirby out. When she sees the situation she's in, she makes her own little speech. I guess she's not going to be a party member if she's doing this. She ends her speech with, "I wish Cute Piggy were here to see this, and because she is at the foot of the altar, the wish came true." That's the most fucking Dragon Ball thing I've ever fucking heard. What if that's the inspiration? Cute Piggy appears, much to PMG and everyone else's dismay. A battle against Cute Piggy ensues. Well, that's one way to put him in this story. After beating Cute Piggy, he runs away. PMG's now really pissed off, blames Quar for making her waste her wish, and a battle with her ensues after Cute Piggy. But after beating PMG, she storms off. Warrior Kirby wakes up and sees the damage done and is now extremely angry. He verbally tears Quar apart, collects his crystals, and amplifies his string. After a save option, a party changes op and a full heal options, I guess. And the final battle starts. Is it like 3 fights in a row? For this battle, my idea was to have Warrior Kirby in the back, glowing and invulnerable, while the crystal key is in front of him. Every 10 turns, Warrior Kirby would switch out his keys. Each key would have its own HP, stats, and attacks. What, he thinks he's Kulex or something? Once a key is below a certain HP, it was no longer switched to. Eventually, Warrior Kirby would only have 1 key left to use. Once this final key is broken, Warrior Kirby stops glowing and becomes vulnerable. This marks phase 2 of the battle. Warrior Kirby now starts attacking with his own skills, many of which are elemental and slashing type. He will also use skills of your current party. For example, having a party with Silas would give Warrior Kirby more healing potential. Well, there's a reason to not have him in the party down. Or having dancing will allow him to summon minions. How the hell is he doing all this? Core would have to be party leader for this battle though, so you would need to choose your other 3 members wisely. After Warrior Kirby's defeat, his keys shatter and he lets out a huge frustrated sigh. It is here that the Crystal Key researcher steps out from behind the altar. He explains that what just happened was the worst possible turn of events. It turns out, Popstar as a whole was made by the Stardust entities to imprison the souls of Desdemona. The Crystal Keys and the Wish are meant to keep them sealed away. However, an emissary of Desdemona escaped his imprisonment and was able to eventually get into Quar's mirror, making Warrior Kirby. Warrior Kirby steps in, saying if Quar had interfered, the wish could have been made to keep Desdemona away. If only you talk to each other more often. Is there really no better way to communicate after 5 years? Because the wish was wasted, however, the souls of Desdemona will eventually be released, causing certain destruction on Popstar. Quar, upset with his failure and disgusted in his own actions, leaves. After some awkward silence, the rest of the party leaves. When the party catch up to Quar, he is depressed and going on about how it's his fault that this mess happened on how Popstar will eventually die. Quar states he should just disappear until Popstar is destroyed. After a long pep talk from his friends, Quar eventually comes to the conclusion that he started this mess and he will fix it somehow. That is when the credits would have rolled and the game would have ended. That's a fucking cliffhanger and a half. I know it's a bit of a cliffhanger, but the entire story couldn't be contained in the singular game. That's why I had ideas to make a much smaller KWRPG 4 to finish up the story. What happens in KWRPG 4, you ask? I guess I could write a little synopsis about it, but for now I'll leave it to speculation. You told me Beyond. Where's the Beyond game? Tying up loose ends. Yeah, what happens in the 4th game? So trying to get an unfinished game presentable in a few weeks is pretty difficult, especially with so many loose ends. I may have missed a bunch of things, but if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can find me, I'm sure. Google is your friend. I will do that, and after this recording, I will search for Kirby Warrior the Creator. Somehow. Anyways, I guess now is when I write up another apology, but I think I've done enough of those for now. I hope you had fun with the game, and all I had to offer, even if it was very incomplete. Where are the loose ends? That was it? Whew, okay. And with that, we are... Can you move? I mean, I guess I don't need to go anywhere, but I don't like you blocking my way. Oh, you weren't in the way, actually. Okay, whatever. Whew, well, that was something. I was not expecting the final episode to be quite like this. And I was preparing myself for a long read, but not quite this long. It certainly is something, and this has certainly been one hell of an interesting LP, I gotta say. And an interesting look and revisit. God damn, I got hiccups all of a sudden, sheesh. Interesting revisit of KWRPG 3. But I've said most of what I wanted to say already, so at this point I'll just be kind of repeating myself. Now, maybe I should go finish up the first book over here now, but I'm not doing that. I'll have to... Anyway, the only thing I haven't seen is the post office. I hope it's not too important, but I honestly don't know how to solve that freaking puzzle over there. And I've already used up a lot of time as it is. And I really want to get everything done in one episode because I don't think... I don't want to make a bonus episode that's just reading stuff. It's going to be long as hell, probably like 2 hours or some shit, holy crap. But yeah, this has been fun. And very, very interesting and enlightening. And so after this, we go... The only thing I have left of Kirby Warrior is going all the way back to Kirby Warrior 1 and eventually playing KWRPG 1. However, I do have one other thing to add. Like, during the LP, the game has actually been updated again. Doesn't that sound familiar? So if you go and download this game, it's going to be a very different version than this. There's been a lot of quality of life changes and balances involved in the game, so a lot of things that make it sound and come across annoying has been pretty much fixed. So if you're worried about that, don't be. Or do, I don't know. Maybe you're paranoid since we're talking about that so much. Anyway, until next Kirby Warrior, whenever I'll get to the first game. Later!